First car on the raceway here tonight for the Eddie Partridge 256. All the cars will line up on the infield. That's where they'll come off to start time trials instead of starting from the pits. Melissa Fifield and Tim Connolly so far on the raceway. 19 cars here today. J.R. Tuccio. Trevor Catalano. Tyler Catalano. All the Whelen Modified Tour cars assembling on the backstretch pit road. Riverhead Raceway regular Jack Hanley Jr., Craig Lutz, Timmy Solomito. Last two times, Timmy Solomito here at Riverhead Raceway. He was a winner. The FX Caprara, Kennedy Long Island Realty, USNE Power, number 66. Ronnie Silk, Austin Beers, Patrick Emmerling, car number 1, Justin Bonsignor. All the modifieds on the raceway, or on the infield, make that. So again, coming into tonight's competition, the Whelen Modified Tour. Track record here at Riverhead Raceway is held by car number 51, the Phoenix Communications Ken Massa owned number 51 of Justin Bonsignor, 11.431. If practice is any indication, we may see a new track record here tonight, as Bonsignor, Patrick Emmerling, and Austin Beers were all faster than that in practice here tonight. So it should be very, very interesting. opening ceremonies to follow this qualifying session. Then we'll get into the feature events. And we will end the evening with the Eddie Partridge 256. Jacqueline Drake here with us tonight from Flow Racing. She will be doing pit road. I'm Steve Halpin with Deej Russell. In the booth right now, Raymond Rao will join us for the Modified Tour feature event. First car to hit the raceway in the Pine Knoll Auto Sales, number 01, out of Wakefield, New Hampshire. It's Melissa Fifield. Fifield currently 15th in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour points.
She was having a good run last time she was here, and then he got involved in an accident.
Lap number 1 for Melissa Fifield. 12.809. 12.809 for the Pine Knoll Auto Sales. Number 01 of Melissa Fifield. Lap number 2. A 12.663. 12.663. Next car to hit the raceway in the Connolly Companies. Number 4 out of Endicott, New York, it's Tim Connolly. The Mystic Missile. Number 4, Tim Connolly for many years, driving for Bob Garbarino. Now he and his wife own this car. Lap number 1, 12.167. Fast time, 12.167. Lap number 1 for Tim Connolly. Lap number 2, he picks it up to a 12.078. 12.078. Lap number 2 for Tim Connolly. Last time the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour was here on the property. This Riverhead Raceway regular in the Gershow Recycling, Northport Sanitation. Number 2, J.R. Bertuccio. A solid 5th place finish the last time the tour was here. Lap number 1 for Bertuccio, 11.906. Fast time, 11.906. Lap number 1 for J.R. Bertuccio. Lap number 2, an 11.736. Good pickup, 11.736. Fast time thus far for J.R. Bertuccio.
I was going to be fast. I saw him coming.
Up next, in the Catalano Motorsports, number 56, out of Ontario, New York, it's Trevor Catalano. The Catalano family, so strong here on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, supporting every event with 3 cars, sometimes 4. Lap number 1, second quick, an 11.873. 11.873. Lap number 1 for Trevor Catalano. Lap number 2 picks it up. He's still second quick, an 11.827. 11.827 for Trevor Catalano. Up next, it's his brother in the Catalano Motorsports, number 84, out of Ontario, New York, it's Tyler Catalano. Tyler had a good run going here last time at Riverhead Raceway. Unfortunately had a wreck, but was running really well. Lap number 1, an 11.961, 11.961 for Tyler Catalano. 11.961. Lap number 2, he comes to the checkered flag. He's second quick, an 11.816, 11.816 for Tyler Catalano. Up next, he's in the Cromer's Market. Keith Grimes Excavating. Spiderweb Racing, number 81. He finished second in this race 1 year ago. It's the real deal. Mark Stewart out of Riverhead, New York. Mark Stewart. Lap number 1, fourth quick, a 12.017. 12.017. Lap number 1 for the real deal, Mark Stewart. Comes to the checkered. Lap number 2. He'll stay fourth quick, an 11.897. 11.897 for Mark Stewart. Up next in the Bowie One Seafood, number 18 out of Calverton, It's Ken Hagee. Hagee, a strong supporter of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour in the Bowie 1 Seafood, number 18. Buddy Loescher and the Gorman brothers wrenching this car, lap number 1, 11.902. 11.902, fifth quick for Ken Hagee. Tries to pick it up here on lap number 2, and he does. He'll go to third quick at 11.817. 11.817 for Ken Hagee. Next car on the raceway in the Cromer's Market Rheem Air Conditioning, number 88. It's Roger Turbish. Turbish, a perennial good runner here at Riverhead Raceway when the tour comes to town. The Turbish Racing, Rheem Air Conditioning, number 88, lap number 1, sixth quick, an 11.950. 11.950, lap number 1 for Roger Turbish. Lap number 2, he'll pick it up to fourth quick at 11.820. J.R. Bertuccio remains on the pole with an 11.736. Up next, in the Shalou Performance MTT Munz Auto, number 22 out of Bayshore, it's Kyle Bonsignor. Bonsignor got his start here in go-karts at Riverhead Raceway. Lap number 1, second quick at 11.795. Best first lap of the day for Kyle Bonsignor. 11.795. Lap number 2, he'll go to the top of the board with an 11.666. Fast time, 11.666 for Kyle Bonsignor. Next car to hit the raceway out of Oswego, New York. He's in the USNE Power Northeast Drilling, number 3. It's his first time in this car. It's Tyler Ripkema. Old Blue, the Bowler Racing number 3. Mike Bowler and the crew hooking up with Tyler Ripkema. Lap number 1, 11.912. 11.912. Eighth quick right now for Tyler Ripkema. Lap number 2, a little loose. He'll go up to 7th at 11.869, 11.869 for Tyler Ripkema. Up next in the GAF Roofing, number 58, the Riverhead Building Supply, number 58. He's got one Whelen Modified Tour win to his credit here at Riverhead Raceway. Out of Riverhead, in car number 58, it's Eric Goodale. Goodale runs with a heavy heart here tonight. Lap number 1, second quick, and 11.733. 11.733. He's going to run this one for Jason Shepard. Lap number 2, he'll stay second. Great time in 11.683. 11.683 for Eric Goodale. Up next in the Catalano Motorsports, number 54. Out of Ontario, New York, it's Tommy Catalano. Tommy Catalano currently 9th on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour points. Car number 54. Lap number 1 for Tommy Catalano. Third quick, an 11.706. 11.706. Catalano gets loose. He hangs on to it. Lap number 2, he'll stay third. It was a 12.086, but his time of record is third quick, an 11.706. Up next, he's in the hydro action. Suffolk Precast, number 45. He's out of Riverhead. It's Jack Hanley Jr. Hanley, a Riverhead Raceway regular. One of the young guns here at Riverhead Raceway in modified competition. Lap number 1, fifth quick, an 11.814. 11.814, lap number 1 for Jack Hanley Jr. He exits turn number 4, lap number 2. He'll go up to third quick with an 11.703. 11.703. Last time he was here at Riverhead Raceway for a regular Saturday night program, he finished second. He is in the Riverhead Building Supply. Goody Racing, number 46 out of Miller Place. It's Craig Lutz. Lutz has had a couple of good runs here at Riverhead Raceway as of recent. Lap number 1 for Craig Lutz, 6th quick, an 11.814. 11.814, lap number 1 for Craig Lutz. He'll exit off of turn number 4, come to the checkered flag, lap number 2. Fast time, an 11.653. 11.653. Craig Lutz goes to the top of the board. This driver, the last 2 times here at Riverhead Raceway, he found victory lane. He's in the USNE Power, Kennedy Long Island Realty, FX Caprara, number 66. It's the natural, Timmy Salamito. Salamito, 3 feature event wins on the tour to his credit. Lap number 1, 2nd quick in 11.657. 11.657. Lap number 1 for Timmy Salamito. Lap number 2, fast time, an 11.579. 11.579 for Timmy Salamito. Up next, your defending NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion. He currently sits 2nd in the Modified Tour points. He's in the Blue Mountain Machine and Future Homes. Number 16, out of Norwalk, Connecticut, it's Ron Silk. Silk won the last time the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour was here at Riverhead Raceway. Lap number 1, 8th quick, an 11.764. Silk's going to look to pick it up here on lap number 2. He locked the brakes up on lap number 1, lap number 2. 2nd quick, an 11.595. 11.595. Lap number 2 to the outside pole for Ron Silk. Up next in the G&G Electrical Supply, Dell Electric, number 64. He's got 1 feature event win to his credit this year. Out of Northampton, Pennsylvania, it's Austin Beers. This young driver has been very impressive here at Riverhead Raceway in his short history here. Lap number 1, 5th quick, an 11.678. 11.678. Lap number 1 for Austin Beers as he hustles that car out of turn number 4, lap number 2. He'll go to the 2nd, an 11.584. 11.584 for Austin Beers. The hottest man on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour right now. He's won 2 in a row, and he's in the Fleetworks Inc. number 1 out of Orchid Park, New York. It's Patrick Emmerling. Emmerling with 1 feature event win to his credit here at Riverhead Raceway. He's got 2 this year on the tour. Lap number 1, 10th quick, an 11.761. 11.761. Lap number 1 for Patrick Emmerling. Lap number 2, he'll go to 4th, an 11.626. An 11.626. This driver tonight will try to win his 3rd Eddie Partridge 256. He'll try to rewrite history and pass Mike Ewaninsko for the most wins here at Riverhead Raceway all time in modified tour events. He is in the Phoenix Communications, number 51, out of Holtzville. It's Justin Bonsignor. Lap number 1, an 11.749. 11th quick, 11.749. Lap number 1 for Justin Bonsignor. Lap number 2, he goes to the top of the board with an 11.576. 3/1000ths of a second faster than Timmy Salamito. Justin Bonsignor will win the Mayhew Tools Dominator Pole Award with an 11.576. Oh man, I need oxygen after that one.
I was going to say, you didn't stop talking straight for about 5 minutes.
Man, that was great. What a job
Can I
by these
jump in
modified
and get
tours.
you?
What a job by these competitors. Great job by Justin Bonsignor. He'll come home first. Timmy Salamito second. Austin Beers third. Ronnie Silk fourth. Patrick Emmerling fifth. Craig Lutz is sixth. Kyle Bonsignor seventh. Eric Goodale eighth. Jack Hanley Jr. ninth. Tommy Catalano 10th. J.R. Bertuccio 11th. Tyler Catalano 12th. Ken Hagee 13th. Roger Turbish 14th. Trevor Catalano 15th. Tyler Ripkema 16th, Mark Stewart 17th, Tim Connolly 18th, and Melissa Fifield 19th. Great job by all these competitors, by all these teams. What a job by car number 51, Justin Bonsignor. The track record is safe. Again, partly because it's an impound race. So the cars have to be impounded, so they're not going to be as good as they were in practice, or as free as they were in practice. Brandon Turbish, second win of his career. You can see Ed Partridge, his Peterbilt, out on the raceway, will pace this field. The Eddie Partridge 256. His beloved wife, Connie Partridge, will throw the ceremonial green flag to start this event. We had to twist her arm to get her up there, but we're going to get her to do it. And Alexis and Emily Gatz will give the command. Tom Gatz's daughters, Eddie Partridge's nieces, they will give the command to start the engines. Unfortunately, the third annual Eddie Partridge 256. We lost Ed 3 years ago after a win at the Richmond International Raceway with his driver Ryan Preece. On the way home, unfortunately, we lost Ed. It was a shock to this racing community, to the entire racing community. The people he's helped along the way on the Modified Tour here at Riverhead Raceway, all the way to the Cup level with Ryan Preece. Eddie Partridge is just an amazing, amazing man. And what you see here at Riverhead Raceway is here because of himself, Connie, and Tom Gatz, and Ed's love for racing on Long Island. They basically, Barbara and Jim Cromartie could have sold this place to anybody. But fortunately enough for all of us, they sold it to the right somebodies. And Eddie Partridge was the leader of that gang. Eddie Partridge was the person that had the vision of what you see here now. We have infield pitting because Eddie Partridge always wanted to do that here and wanted to figure out a way of how it could be done, and he did. Him and Elwood discussed it, and unfortunately Eddie never got to see it come to fruition. But we use it now for the ISO 300 and for this Ed Partridge 256. And adds a little wrinkle to the event. Just unfortunate that we even have to do a memorial event. If you look in turn 3, you can see the sign, "In Our Hearts Forever, Eddie." And if you look right up above, the number 6 modified, Ryan Preece, Eddie Partridge fielded together, sits here over Riverhead Raceway every single time we hit this facility. So we know he's here. We know he's here watching us. We know he's looking down, and we hope he's proud of what we're doing, just trying to keep his legacy alive here. at Riverhead Raceway. Pre-race awards from the Oswego Speedway for the Whelen Modified Tour. The Whelen Engineering winner of the race award. The Whelen Engineers sponsors the Whelen winner of the race award in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, where Whelen awards $3,500 to Patrick Emmerling, driver of the #1 Fleetworks Incorporated car, for winning the most recent NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour event at the Oswego Speedway. And you have the Hoosier Tire Lap Leader Award. Hoosier Tire sponsors the Hoosier Tire Lap Leader Award at every NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour event. Patrick Emmerling, also the driver of the #1 Fleetworks Incorporated car, won the Hoosier Tire Lap Leader Award at the most recent NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour event at the Oswego Speedway. Also, the Phil Kerrs Mid-Race Leader presented by Jostens. Jostens sponsors the Phil Kerrs Mid-Race Leader Award at every NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour event. It goes to the race leader at the halfway point of the event, regardless of if the race is running under green or yellow. For the most recent NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour event, Jostens awards $400 to Patrick Emmerling, the driver of the #1 Fleetworks Incorporated car. Patrick here with us getting all those awards on the raceway. Also, the Hoosier Tire Hard Charger Award. Hoosier Tire sponsors the Hoosier Tire Hard Charger Award at every NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour event. Jacob Lutz in the 14 Advantage Trucks. Anastasi Trucking, #14, won the Hoosier Hard Charger Award at the most recent NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour event at Oswego Speedway. The Hoosier Tire Most Improved Award also went to Jacob Lutz. Hoosier Tire sponsors the Hoosier Tire Most Improved Award in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour at every NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour event. And Jacob Lutz, the 14 Advantage Trucks, Anastasi Trucking, #14, won the Hoosier Tire Most Improved Award at the most recent NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour event. And today, the Mayhew Tools Dominator Pole Award was won by Justin Bonsignor. Bonsignor, with a fast time of an 11.576, captured the Mayhew Tools Dominator Pole Award. The cars have assembled on the raceway. And now the starting lineup for the Ed Partridge 256. Starting from the 19th starting position in the Pine Knoll Auto Sales, #01. Out of Wakefield, New Hampshire, it's Melissa Fifield. Starting from the 18th starting position in the Connolly Companies, LLC, #4. Out of Endicott, New York, it's Tim Connolly. Starting from the 17th starting position in the Cromer's Market, Keith Grimes Incorporated, #81. Out of Riverhead, it's Mark Stewart. Starting from the 16th starting position in the USNE Power Northeast Drilling, #3. Out of Oswego, New York, it's Tyler Ripkema. Starting from the 15th starting spot. In the Catalano Motorsports, number 56, out of Ontario, New York, it's Trevor Catalano. Starting from the 14th starting position. In the Cromer's Market, Ream Air Conditioning, number 88, out of Calverton, it's Roger Turbish. Starting from the 18th starting position. In the Bowie One Seafood and Restaurant, number 18, out of Calverton, it's Ken Heggie. Starting from position number 12. In the Catalano Motorsports, number 84, out of Ontario, New York, it's Tyler Catalano. From position number 11. In the Gershow Recycling, North Fork Sanitation, number 2, out of Center Reach, it's J.R. Bertuccio. Now we enter the top 10. Starting from the 10th starting position. In the Catalano Motorsports, number 54, out of Ontario, New York, that's Tommy Catalano. Starting from position number 9. He's in the Hydro Action, Suffolk Precast, number 45, out of Medford, New York, it's Jack Hanley Jr. Starting from the 8th starting position. In the GAF Roofing, Riverhead Building Supply, number 58, out of Riverhead, it's Eric Goodell. Starting from position number 7. In the Shalu Performance, MTT, Munns Auto, number 22, out of Bayshore, that's Kyle Bonsignor. Starting from the 6th starting position. In the Riverhead Building Supply, number 46, out of Miller Place, it's Craig Lutz. Starting from position number 5. He's the hottest guy on the Modified Tour right now. He's in the Fleetworks Incorporated, number 1, out of Orchard Park, New York, it's Patrick Emmerling. Starting from the 4th starting position. He's your defending NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion. He's in the Blue Mountain Machine, Future Homes, number 16, out of Norwalk, Connecticut, it's Ron Silk. Starting from the 3rd starting position. In the G&G Electrical Supply, Dell Electric, number 64, out of Northampton, Pennsylvania, it's Austin Beers. Now to the front row. Starting on the outside pole. He's in the USNE Power, Kennedy, Long Island Realty, FX Caprara, number 66, out of Islip, it's the natural, Timmy Salamito. And starting from the pole, he's your current NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour point leader. He's in the Ken Massa-owned Phoenix Communications Incorporated, number 51, out of Holtzville. He tries to make it 12 wins here tonight, which would make him the all-time winningest NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour winner, surpassing Mike Ewaninsko. In car number 51 from the pole, it's Justin Bonsignor. Drivers will get strapped into their race cars. While they do that, as they're getting ready, we'll go to a short video on Flow Racing with Ron Silk and Justin Bonsignor. 1 year ago in the Eddie Partridge 256. What a race it was. 1 year ago, Justin Bonsignor able to take down the win. Tonight we are here with the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour for the Ed Partridge 256. I'm Steve Halpin along with Raymond Rao and Jacqueline Drake. We will bring you tonight's action on Flow Racing. What a battle it was last year between Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk. Right now the hottest guy on the tour, Patrick Emmerling. He is going to look to win his second career feature event. Tonight we will have a Crew Chief of the Race Reward. The Crew Chief of the Race Award will be presented by Highmark Building Efficiency and Ironman Welding in the memory of Jason Shepard. Now we will go down trackside to Dan Petfield for tonight's invocation.
Everybody, rise. Gentlemen, your hats. Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight. And Lord, we thank you for the legacy that Eddie Partridge built in this place. Lord, we thank you for the blood, sweat, and tears that he put into this Riverhead Raceway, dear God. Lord, as we honor, Lord, his life, Lord, with this race tonight, we just pray that your blessings would be upon his family. Lord, as they still mourn the loss of him. And Heavenly Father, we pray that you would be with each one of these drivers tonight as they compete. We pray that your hands will be upon them. Lord, be with their crew members. Lord, and be with each official, Lord, as they call this race. And Lord, again, we just thank you so much for giving each one of us the ability to be here tonight. And we just pray that you would keep us, all of us, in your loving arms and bring us all home safely. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
We ask that you please rise as Naomi Piero sings God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Great job, Naomi. Now we will get Alexis and Emily Gatz, the nieces of Ed Partridge, to give the command. And we will get Connie Partridge up in the flag stand as she is going to wave the ceremonial green flag in honor of her husband, Ed Partridge. Let's go downstairs for the command.
Drivers, start your engines.
The engines have been fired. Since 1985, the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour was created. And in that season, since that season, Riverhead Raceway has been part of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour since its inception. Tonight, in the honor of Ed Partridge, Riverhead Raceway runs its 75th NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour event. Our first winner, Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer. On July 10th, 1985, 29 drivers have won at Riverhead Raceway since that night. Justin Bonsignor, the defending race winner, seeking his third straight 256 lap victory. He's the only driver to have won this race taking the inaugural race back in 2022, last year's on September 16th, 2023. Coming into today, Justin Bonsignor is tied with Mike Ioannidze at 11 wins for the all-time win list and the lead here at Riverhead Raceway. Eddie Partridge, the man we race in honor of here tonight. Look around you, folks. This was his dream, to own this facility. And as a person who's worked at this raceway since 1992, when I found out that Eddie Partridge and Connie Partridge, along with Tom Gatz, were going to purchase this facility, I knew we were all going to be in it for the long haul together. Unfortunately, God had other plans. He needed Ed Partridge. I guess he had a racetrack up there. He needed someone to run. But we lost Eddie Partridge, but we continue to live out his dream. And his family, his wife Connie, his nephew Tom, John Elwood, and this entire staff continue to run this facility in his memory each and every Saturday night. You'll see his brother Scoop Partridge in the Peterbilt up in turn 1 and 2. Scoop will drive that truck around this facility. Take a look at it, because that's what Eddie Partridge was all about. All about beautiful, beautiful equipment, beautiful things. A two-time championship car owner on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Just missed here every single day. But there's so much of Eddie when you look around as you see that number 6 car. You see in our hearts forever Eddie Partridge on the wall. We run the Cecil Palm Tree 66, but this race, his beloved NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. We always did 2 races here at Riverhead. When Eddie Partridge took over this place, he wanted 3. So we went to 3 Modified Tour races. We're back to 2, but man, Eddie and Connie, and it's so great to see Connie Partridge in the flag stand as she will throw the ceremonial green flag for tonight's Eddie Partridge 256.
And you'll see here in a little bit, there's a special reason that this track at one point did have 3 Whelen Modified Tour races, and it is because of the excitement this track brings. Every time you see these guys come out here, guys and girls coming out here competing in the Whelen Modified Tour, and Eddie Partridge, his dream was to add this little bit of extra special effect to this race, having pit road here right in front of the fans here at the track and at Home on Flow Racing, so you can see all the action. All these crews, front stretch and back stretch, both sides of the racetrack have pit road action here coming to you for 256 laps. You will see fender to fender, quarter to quarter hard racing between all of these Whelen Modified Tour drivers, and there's a lot of stories coming into this race with some of the guys you see here in the field. Justin Bonsignor, like you mentioned, Steve, 11 wins coming in. That's tied with Mike Ioannidze for the all-time lead in Whelen Modified Tour competition. But Ron Silk in the number 16, he has been strong here in the last couple of races at Riverhead Raceway, having 2 wins, both coming recently. And how about Patrick Emmerling in the 1? The last 2 tour races, he's gotten to victory lane on much different tracks, Thompson and Oswego, but here he comes into Riverhead, another track he's good at, where he can get the job done, and he's starting up close to the front of the field, and that's Fleetworks number 1.
Let's set the stage, as this is the swing to the championship. And you look, as Eric Goodale in car number 58 pulls behind the Eddie Partridge Peterbilt in honor of his fallen crew chief, Jason Shepard. We lost Jason a few weeks back, one of the good guys in this whole entire racing deal. And Eric Goodale is hurting, his entire team, his crew hurting. This entire racing family is hurting as we've lost Jason Shepard. But John Elwood and Rich Kirby, along with Bob Finan, came up with this Crew Chief of the Race Award that Lou and Tracy Maestri started here at Riverhead Raceway for Joe DeGangi. $500 will go to the crew chief of the race, but $250 of it, Rich Gerby from Highmark Building Efficiency will donate to the Shepherd family. The other $250 will go to the winning crew chief of tonight's race. So thank you to Ironman Welding for providing the trophy. Thank you to Highmark Building Efficiency for sponsoring the crew chief of the race. And thank you to Jason Shepherd for allowing us to honor, and his family for allowing us to honor him here tonight. Jason will be missed by this entire Modified Tour community.
And if you look closely at that number 58 of Eric Goodale, that car, the back panel of that car has been redesigned in honor of Jason Shepherd. And I believe there is some redesigning on the number 46, another one of those Riverhead Building Supply cars. Obviously, those two cars very, very close, and all the work that they do getting those cars here in the Whelen Modified Tour, and they are currently 3rd and 4th on the outside lane, nose to tail. As you can see that TV panel there on Flow Racing, all of the pictures on the back of that number 58 of Eric Goodale, so a nice tribute to his crew chief.
Set the stage. We come into tonight's feature event. Justin Bonsignor, your point leader with 460. Ronnie Silk is second with 455, some 5 points back. Patrick Emmerling has come to third, 24 points back with 436. Austin Beers is 45 points back with 415, and Craig Lutz rounds out your top 5, 76 points back with 384. Monadnock on September 21st, North Wilkesboro on October the 5th, the Thompson Speedway on October 13th, and they ended at Martinsville with 10 on 10/26, the 26th of October. What a stretch for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, as they will fight right down to the final event to crown their 2024 champion. Justin Bonsignor on the initial start as your pole winner has the option to choose the inside or the outside. Bonsignor has chosen the outside. He sent Timmy Salamito to the inside. 256 laps. We honor the big guy, Ed Partridge. We miss you, buddy, but we're going modified racing in your name as Connie Partridge throws the green flag.
Good side-by-side racing through 1 and 2. Justin Bonsignor pulls away on the outside, getting past Timmy Salamito. They all merge to the top side of the raceway. Bonsignor is going to lead lap 1. Austin Beer still trying to make the inside lane work. He's challenging for second now as they come off the turn 2.
Car number 51, Justin Bonsignor, off to the early race lead as Timmy Salamito is shuffled into second, but here comes Austin Beers to the bottom. Ron Silk gets in line, and he goes to the outside of the 64 car of Austin Beers.
Beers still trying to make that inside lane work. He's in a hard battle for third right now with Ron Silk. He gets a bit of ground in the middle of the corner on the bottom, but as they come off the corner, he loses that ground back here. He is continuing to try to dog it on the inside, while as everyone else seems to move to the top side here early in the going. As now it looks like Silk is going to pull a nose there going into turn 3, and he might try to complete this pass here off of 4 down to the stripe, and it looks like he will. Beers still fighting hard on the inside.
Here comes the 46 of Craig Lutz now also to the outside. I can see where Beers may try to fill the hole here before Emmerling gets there, and Beers goes back to the top of the raceway, and they'll run nose to tail from 1st through 10th. Your race leader, car number 51, Justin Bonsignor. Timmy Salamito runs second. Third is Ron Silk. Up to 4th, car number 46 of Craig Lutz. 5th is the 64 of Austin Beers.
And it looks like this is the early plan among these drivers and crews is to get into a groove here, and they've all worked their way to the top side of the raceway. They're all running nose to tail right there as you go around the track. J.R. Bertuccio challenging Kyle Bonsignor towards the rear of the field. He's the first one down on the bottom. Looks like Jack Hanley Jr. in the 45, another one of the local drivers trying to make something work down there as well, as Bertuccio is able to get past Kyle Bonsignor using that inside lane there off of corner number 2.
10 laps into this event, they still run nose to tail. Not a lot of action early on. A lot of these cars are just going to try to settle in here and see where they can go, as Justin Bonsignor in the Phoenix Communications Number 51 continues to set the pace. Salamino now starting to get to the back bumper and looking to the inside down the back straightaway. Now they come to turn number 1, and Bonsignor is pulled away just a bit.
He's still being challenged hard, though, from the 66 of Timmy Salamito. A lot of these guys figuring out their race cars here in these first handful of laps, and really by handful, you can really say the first 50, 60, 70 laps of this event it will take to really figure out these cars and where you're going to be able to make your moves and where you're not going to be able to make your moves. It looks like Ron Silk peeked his nose there underneath the 66 of Timmy Salamito, getting back in line, and right there through turns 1 and 2, they got pretty low on the raceway. So trying new things out here early on, as you see the 16 of Silk back down low off of corner number 4, trying to make something work on the 66 of Timmy Salamito.
It's a 3-tire race. They're allowed to change 3 tires on a pit stop. We'll see what the strategy is. Some will try to stay out longer than others so they can put on new rubber for the final stretch of the event. Some drivers are starting to search to the bottom. Here comes Silk now with a look to the inside of Timmy Salamito.
And further back in the field, Jared Petruccio made another pass to the inside, getting by one of the Catalano cars there. And now is closing in on another Riverhead local, Jack Hanley Jr. But some of these drivers are able to make the inside lane work here, making passes. Right there, Silk looks like he's got a good run going down into corner number 3. He's going to be to the inside of Timmy Salamito. So the first one of these front few to try to make something happen on the bottom of the racetrack, it's going to be Ron Silk. And your 2-point leaders, nose to tail, first and second here, as Silk has made the pass for second and chases down Justin Bonsignor.
And as we showed in the open, these two battled. Last year's 256 with Justin Bonsignor coming out the victor. Car number 16, Ron Silk has come to the second spot. To third is Timmy Salamito. Fourth is the 46 of Craig Lutz. 21 laps into this event, early stages. Right now, some of the cars are starting to look to the bottom of the raceway to see if they can get any kind of grip, to get a run on the bottom, to make a pass. Right now, Jack Hanley Jr. is to the back bumper of Eric Goodale, and Hanley has tried the bottom and made it work so far here tonight. Hanley now to the back bumper of Eric Goodale and to the inside.
And back up at the front of the field, Silk and Bonsignor have pulled away from Timmy Salamito. Salamito in the 66 still being challenged. As you can see there, Jack Hanley Jr. making that run to the inside of Eric Goodale. He is just working lap after lap, staying to the bottom of the 58. It seems like with each lap, he's getting a little bit closer. Right there, side by side up of corner number 2. He has a nose down the back straightaway, going into corner number 3. And off of corner number 4, Goodale lifts, and away with the spot goes Jack Hanley Jr.
And what you have right now, Silk now to the back bumper of Justin Bonsignor. Ron Silk, car number 16, to the back bumper of Justin Bonsignor.
They got one lap car there. Melissa Fifield, the 01, staying to the inside. They stay nose to tail here. Silk trying high and low. He gets a good run off the top, gets right to the back bumper. The number 51 now looks a little lower off of corner number 4. Bonsignor sees it, stays in front of the 16 there. They're working around 1 and 2, and now they're catching a handful of lap traffic here as they go down towards 3 and 4.
And how typical is this one, Raymond? These two cars have broken away. They have been at the center of the battle. Oh, problem right there for Catalano as he goes around in car number 56. Trevor Catalano made contact with Tim Connolly and went around.
He's trying to get spun around here.
Caution flag out.
He was trying to get turned around there, and it looked like was having an issue. And that spin was right in front of our 2 leaders there, Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk. So our first caution of the night here as Catalano spins around off of corner number 2, one solo spin.
He had contact with the 4 car of Tim Connolly as Catalano tried to get to the inside of Connolly. The two of them made contact, and around went the 56 car of Trevor Catalano. Good start to this event, 33 laps in the books. Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk, as they've done the last 4 or 5 races here at Riverhead Raceway, pulled away from the field. They started having their own individual battle. Here you can see on Flow Racing right here, Catalano underneath, and right there, he and Connolly made contact. Catalano went around in car number 56. Right now, doesn't look like any takers on pit road. While we have a moment, let's go to the pit road with Jacqueline Drake.
You guys talked a lot about Justin Bonsignor. I was able to catch up with him earlier today, and I asked him just a little bit about the pressures that come with tonight, obviously with the points lead, but that all-time winning list, and he said, I'm just really focused on going out and racing. He seemed cool as a cucumber and felt confident in his abilities here at Riverhead Raceway because this quite literally is like home to him. As you can see, he's been able to flex his muscles just a little bit in these first 33 laps that he wanted to continue to show over the rest of his competitors. We'll see if he'll be able to hold on for the rest of tonight.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Pit road is now open. A lot of cars head to pit road. Kyle Bonsignor, Tommy Catalano, Mark Stewart, Ken Hagee all head to the pits, as well as Roger Turbish. Early takers here at pit road. I'm surprised. They're going to make some adjustments. Must not have felt as good as it did during the day as the sun went down. So some quick adjustments. Kyle Bonsignor back underway.
And we had made mention, Steve, earlier in the day about these cars in practice and some of the lap times that these guys were running. We saw Justin Bonsignor running really fast lap times during practice, and those times slowed down during qualifying. Obviously, Bonsignor still at the front of the field, but on 11.56, that's about 2/10 slower, I believe, than its fastest practice time.
And again, the problem with that is that they impound the cars. So it can be free and fast for that first practice, but they still have to set up a car for qualifying that's basically going to be able to run here for 100 to 150 laps. So it can't be free like it would be when you set it up for practice. When they first came out to practice, these guys were, whoo, man, it was fast.
And it also is a completely different story when we're running out here at night in race conditions. These guys are so close together that your car can handle completely different here during these races than they did earlier in practice or in qualifying.
So a couple of drivers took to pit road. Let's go downstairs to Jacqueline Drake. She has a report. Jacqueline?
For a quick pit road visit, and all saw what I could see my vantage point. Adjustments
Green flag back in the air. Justin Bonsignor with a good start. Here comes Craig Lutz to the outside.
Lutz making that outside lane work there early on Ron Silk. We saw Silk experimenting with the inside lane, running a little lower in the corners, and it was working out for him. He was able to get past Solomito as back further in the field. Patrick Emmerling now getting clear for position number 5, battling Jack Hanley Jr. A car on the wall in the front stretch a little bit. It looked like Austin Beers might have caught it, but he keeps it going.
Jack Hanley Jr., car number 45, regular here at Riverhead Raceway, using the bottom, as is J.R. Bertuccio, as they're coming to the front. Right now, the 51, Justin Bonsignor leads, and Ron Silk has come to second, now to third, the 46 car of Craig Lutz.
And Lutz trying to challenge Ron Silk for that position. Silk with a little bit of more breathing room there, but Silk not able quite yet to get to Justin Bonsignor, and Craig Lutz is not giving up on position number 2. They're all running single file up towards the top of the raceway here, maybe trying to get into a groove, but I can promise you that these drivers are not comfortable whatsoever. They are all going for it, and I can tell you Craig Lutz is definitely trying to run back down the 16. We saw how strong that car was at the restart. He's trying to grab one of those top couple spots here.
And if you watch on the restart, both Bonsignor and Silk took the way around the bottom, where earlier in the event they were running much higher. They're starting to bring their cars a little lower here now. As you can see, Bonsignor enters the corner at a lower angle. And so right now, the inside of the raceway is starting to pick up some speed, as Jack Hanley Jr. and J.R. Bertuccio have shown as they've come through this field.
And those guys running down there lap after lap of course, putting some rubber down, adding some grip there for these guys up front to start experimenting with that. And we'll see who decides they really want to take it down low, like J.R. Bertuccio, as we have a caution out on the raceway. It looks like the 54 has gone around.
Car number 54, Tommy Catalano. Spins. Pit road closed right now. 51 laps into the Eddie Partridge 256. Buzz Chew, Chevrolet Pace Truck. Catalano with a right rear flat tire. Kyle Bonsignor, Mark Stewart, and Roger Turbish, along with Tim Connolly, will all head to the pits.
Just waiting here for the light to actually look like Connolly there might have thought that pit road was open. It looked like he was ready to come down, and then Kane stayed out on the raceway. Pit road not open yet. Now this time by will be open, so we'll see those drivers coming down to, obviously we're going to see Catalano have to change that right rear tire, but we'll see what the rest of this field decides to do here.
As they head to pit road, Catalano will change tire. Bonsignor in for another adjustment. Kyle Bonsignor. Catalano changes that right rear tire. Car number 56, Trevor Catalano, also heading to pit road. There's Roger Turbish, car number 88. Bunch of cars coming off pit road. While it quiets down, let's head to the infield to pit road with Jacqueline Drake. Jacqueline?
Tires getting changed down here, including the 81 of Mark Stewart and the 88 of Roger Turbish. Looks like an add-on pit here. I'm walking through, and there's lots of adjustments happening. People switching over from that daytime setup into this nighttime, where it's actually cooled off quite a bit here at Riverhead.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Alyssa Fifield gets the free pass. Bonsignor chooses the outside on this restart, and Ron Silk will come to the bottom.
That's going to give Silk a pretty good advantage here. We've seen what Ron Silk has been able to do on the inside of the raceway, and Bonsignor is willing to give him that as they roll here into the restart zone. 200 laps to go. The green flag's back out in the air. Bonsignor and Silk send it down into corner number 1, and Silk with a good, strong run off of corner number 2. He's challenging Bonsignor for the lead. Here is Salamito in 3rd, and off of corner number 4, Silk at the line that time by a nose.
Ronnie Silk to the inside, and Justin Bonsignor will come to position number 1. Timmy Salamito now heads to the inside of Bonsignor as well. Bonsignor able to hold off Salamito. Salamito solidly back to 3rd. Craig Lutz to 4th. Jack Hamley Jr. has his hands full with Patrick Emerling. Emerling to the inside in car number 1. But right now, Jack Hamley Jr., who started this event from the 8th starting spot, he's come to 5th.
And Hanley has looked really strong up to this point in the race here early on. He has looked like a fierce competitor holding off these Tour regulars. Out there by himself, it looks like Patrick Emerling in the 1 trying that inside lane is still losing ground here. He's being challenged by Austin Beers. Behind them is J.R. Bertuccio now in the 2, but Emerling is able to find his way up to the line as here comes Justin Bonsignor back for the lead at turns 3 and 4.
Bonsignor with a move to the inside of Ron Silk. Bonsignor up the raceway. He and Silk make slight contact, but Justin Bonsignor in the Phoenix Communications number 51 takes a shot from Silk.
Silk back to the inside, getting back low, and now Bonsignor clears for the lead. Silk back to 2nd, Salamito right there in 3rd, and Craig Lutz still in 4th. The top 4 now single file. We'll wait to see if Ron Silk tries anything here to get back to the low side of Justin Bonsignor and back to the lead.
Easy, fellas. 64 laps down, make it 65 this time by. Long way to go, and Bonsignor and Silk are already renewing that rivalry here at Riverhead Raceway.
These two have been the two to beat here at Riverhead Raceway in the last handful of races that we have run here between Justin Bonsignor's long tenure of winning here, 11 wins coming into tonight, and Silk's 2 wins that have both come very recently here. Silk all over the back bumper of the 51 of Bonsignor still as they go through turns 1 and 2. Both of these two have been 2 of the toughest ones to beat, and a couple of locals in the field. Jack Canley Jr. in the 45, he has now cracked his way into the top 5, and Timmy Salamito still running strong in 3rd. A lot of good front runners up here early.
The last 5 events here at Riverhead Raceway have either been won by Justin Bonsignor or Ron Silk. So these two continue to set the pace as they go around Melissa Fifield. Here on lap number 70, Justin Bonsignor, your race leader. Ron Silk is 2nd. Timmy Salamito comes to 3rd. While Craig Lutz is 4th, Jack Hanley Jr. is 5th. Austin Beers to the 6th spot, while Patrick Emmerling runs 7th. J.R. Bertuccio is 8th. 9th with a good run is Tyler Ripkema. And 10th in car number 58 is Eric Goodale.
And once again here up at the front of the field, as you see the field go by on Flow Racing, Bonsignor and Silk have pulled away from Timmy Salamito. The front two have really extended their lead over the rest of the field as they go through turns 1 and 2. Bonsignor covering the low side, trying to keep Silk away. He is having to run top and bottom here. It looks like Silk's car is really good in both lanes, but Bonsignor able to keep him in his mirror up to this point here. And you know, you think for riding around here up early, they wouldn't be racing like this, but you could tell that both of these drivers really want to be in the lead and really want to be out in front, and they're working each other over for it as we have a spin on the backstretch.
Right in front of your leaders, Roger Turbish, car number 88 goes around. Turbish in the Cromer's Market, Ream Air Conditioning number 88 goes around. Justin Bonsignor, 77 laps into this event, is your race leader.
Again, the smoke clearing here on the backstretch. A nice big cloud of smoke from the 88 spinning. And like we were mentioning right there before, as we wait to see a replay here, these two front runners have been going at it, as here is the replay here on Flow, and it looks like it just goes around on his own.
Yeah, it just took off on him. On exit, Roger Turbish with a problem. It's car number 84, Tyler Catalano. Looks like he's going to head to the pit area with Eric Goodale with an early trip to pit road.
Looks like maybe Goodale's trying to figure something out here for the long run. Obviously, we're still pretty early here in this event.
Pit road is open. They'll head into pit road. Eric Goodale leads them in. Roger Turbish, Ken Hagee, and Tim Connolly as well as Trevor Catalano, I believe, is down there. There's Goodale. Goodale's going for tires. Early for tires.
Yeah, well, obviously they got some.
Well, he might just ride. He might just ride back here and have something for him a little later. But he'll take 2 right side tires.
He's gonna have to. Obviously, he must. The plan here, I'm guessing, is that later in this run, you're going to see a lot of these guys come in and Goodale's going to stay out. That would be my only guess here, but
he's not going to be able. He's going to come in for a left rear. That's about all he's going to be able to get.
Yeah.
But as the pit road starts to clear off, let's go downstairs to Jacqueline Drake. Jacqueline.
Speaking of Goodale, I spoke to him earlier, and he said his goal for tonight was to finish of the laps to the best of his ability. Riding tonight with a little bit of a heavy heart, but that was a very quick pit stop by the team, almost stumbling just a little bit. And ultimately, you guys hit on it right there. The strategy, this is one of the big parts of tonight coming in. You can gain and lose positions on pit lane tonight, so the teams have taken extra precautions to try to service these cars as quick as possible.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Jacqueline Drake, as always, doing a great job on pit road here for us. We'll go double file again. Bonsignor this time chooses the bottom.
I guess he figures to not let Silk have that.
You don't want Silk to be able to come up into you there and break your momentum, especially with Salamito and the 46 running so well. They head to the Newsday Go Zone. 82 laps down, 83 as they take the green, and Justin Bonsignor gets back to the point. Timmy Salamito now feels a challenge to the outside from Craig Lutz.
Yeah, and I saw right there from the restart, Bonsignor really trying to pinch Ron Silk up there on the front stretch so that Bonsignor can have a better entry into corner number 1 and help get in front of the 16, and he's still in front of the 16. A lot of problems here with the lap car. Melissa Fifield here in the 0-1. It's really stacked up the field. Everyone trying to work around, and a big jumble up off of corner number 2 down the backstretch. Everyone just trying to work around the slow car, the 0-1 Melissa Fifield here, and we'll see if they're all able to do it or not.
Austin Beers, car number 46, got sideways. He got into the 45 of Jack Hanley Jr. Because of it, Hanley lost 2 spots as he was shuffled back, and Ron Silk down to the back bumper of Justin Bonsignor.
Mark Stewart just went all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack to get around the 0-1 of Fifield, all the way down to the apron. Was able to get around. We just saw Roger Turbich do something similar here off of corner number 4. But boy, it was really hectic there. As we take a look back up here in the front of the field, it's still Bonsignor and Silk. They're starting to pull away now, this time from Craig Lutz in the 46, who is now in 3rd.
Melissa Fifield being shown the black flag, or that might be the move over flag. We'll see.
No, that was the black flag. That was the black with the white cross, actually.
Yep, Fifield exiting the raceway.
Yeah.
As car number 51, Justin Bonsignor, continues to set the pace with Ron Silk 2nd. Craig Lutz now has come back to 3rd. Timmy Salamito runs 4th. Austin Beers, who was sideways a lap or so ago, is up to the 5th spot. 6th is car number 1, Patrick Emmerling.
And Silk is starting to do what he was doing earlier in the race. He's peeking his nose down low. Maybe a little contact there with the 51. Bonsignor looked a little sideways off of corner number 4. They hold it straight though, and Silk continuing to start to peek his nose down here towards the bottom of the raceway, and I think Bonsignor's starting to pick up on that a little bit more now.
Bonsignor's making him work. He's making Silk look to the outside. If you look at Bonsignor, he's running in the middle of the groove. He's not giving the bottom of the top. So he's making Silk work to try and set him up. And in the interim, Silk is wearing that car out behind him, and Bonsignor is running at his pace as he runs about an 11.8, 11.820 right now. And Silk runs an 11.855. So they're running 11.80s, but here goes Silk to the bottom.
And you got to wonder here, obviously, a lot of this also has to do with tire conservation, but obviously these two drivers contact right there. Bonsignor holds on to it. Silk stays back in 2nd. Boy, that was almost big right there for the 2 leaders. But they keep it going, and I got to wonder what these tires are going to look like at the end of this run when they change them.
And right now, Craig Lutz, because they're battling the way they are, Lutz is starting to reel him in car number 46.
Yeah, and I wonder if Craig Lutz has been trying to save his stuff up here. Him and Salamito were kind of running nose to tail, weren't doing too much with each other there during these green flag runs, and it might have saved Craig Lutz a little bit of stuff here that he can use against these two, but it's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to get around Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk.
And car number 64, Austin Beers, starting to put some pressure on the 66 of Timmy Salamito. Salamito feels the heat to the inside from Austin Beers. Beers right to the back bumper out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Also throw Patrick Emmerling into that mix in car number 1. Beers with a good run down the front straightaway on Timmy Salamito.
And we've seen some strength out of Austin Beers here at Riverhead Raceway. Obviously, not one of the regulars or not someone who grew up racing here like some of these other drivers here, but Austin Beers has gotten better and better. He, in fact, won the pole here in a tour race here not too long ago, so don't count out Austin Beers in any of these tour races we have at Riverhead.
Back to your leaders. Here comes Silk to the inside. Bonsignor still with a big run. Here's Beers again now to the inside of Salamito.
That might work there. Beers using that inside lane well. Salamito trying to drive off the top side, but into turns 1 and 2. Off of corner number 2, it's going to be Beers ahead of Salamito as Patrick Emmerling is now starting to work to try to get underneath Timmy Salamito in the 66.
Emmerling has quietly worked his way into the mix here with this group. Salamito currently 5th. Emmerling trying to come to the top 5 as Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk continue to pull away now from Craig Lutz in car number 46.
And it looks like, and I could be deceived here in a couple of laps, we'll see, but it looks like they're starting to give each other a little bit of room. Obviously, they had that moment off of corner number 4. They almost sent Bonsignore around in a spin at turn 3 and 4 in front of our leaders.
Caution flag down for car number 01, Melissa Fifield. Right front flat tire, suspension damage on that car. A couple of other cars involved.
The leaders, I feel like a lot of these wrecks have happened right in front of Bonsignore and Silk, and I'm sure that's no surprise. You got your spotter telling you, hey, the leaders are coming, and they're getting ready to lap you. These guys are going to start getting antsy, and right there we see a couple cars going around. Again, right in front of the two leaders who looked like finally they were starting to give each other a little bit of room there.
And if you look down on pit road, a lot of the teams starting to get up. We're at lap 110. A lot of the teams getting ready to stage here to do a pit stop. Here's the replay. Fifield to the inside. So Catalano into the back of Turbish. Fifield, just a victim there.
Yeah.
I see it again here. Catalano into the back of Turbish, and then Fifield into Catalano.
Just
I think, is that Ken Hagee that got into the back of her?
That might have been. It looked like it was just the slightest nudge, too, to that 88 there, who we had seen in a previous caution just spin around by himself on the back straightaway there. So just a little nudge, and around goes Turbish as Fifield's getting here a push down the front stretch. Flat right front tire, looks like, on the 01.
Looks like we're going to have wholesale pit stops. Your leaders look like they're going to duck to the infield as well. 112 laps into this event. 144 remain right now. Once they come in, we will go to Jacqueline Drake. She's running around down there trying to get all the information she can for us. It's car number 01, Melissa Fifield. Push to the pits. $113 laps down. For Justin Bonsignore, your race leader of the Eddie Partridge 256. Ron Silk is second. Craig Lutz third. Yep, they're going to drop to the inside. All your leaders are going to come. Austin Beers, Timmy Salamito. The one car, Patrick Emmerling. All looking ahead to the pits. I'm surprised Goodale's going to pit. Goodale took 2 already. He's going to take that final tire, it looks like. 115 laps down.
Again, it could be more for Goodale than just tires at this point. It's also probably adjustments. And it's really just making that game plan here for that number 58 team and how they're going to set up the rest of this race and how they're going to run here. Saving up their tires that maybe there will be a late caution where they can put themselves in a better position at the front of the field, but we'll have to wait and see as here they come.
All head to pit road, led by Justin Bonsignore and Ron Silk. They will head down the front straightaway pits. Craig Lutz to his stall first. Timmy Salamito on pit road as well. Patrick Emmerling. There's Ron Silk. They're going to go just right sides. They have a tire left, as does Bonsignore. Bonsignore will be the first off pit road. Now, Goodale only took 1 tire, so he gained all those spots when he pitted. So good job by the 58 team.
I guess that was the game plan for him.
And as pit road gets emptied here, let's go downstairs to Jacqueline Drake. Jacqueline?
Bonds back up.
We apologize for Jacqueline's microphone. See how this shuffles out. Justin Bonsignor did win the race off pit road. Ron Silk, then Eric Goodale. So that could in fact have been Goodale's strategy. As you saw him, he came in on lap 79. He ran around towards the back of the field. And then when everybody pitted, he came in, took his third tire, but came out third because he took one tire as opposed to 2 or 3. So good strategy by the GAF Roofing, number 58. They came out third of the pits. Patrick Emmerling was 4th coming out. Austin Beers 5th. Timmy Salamito took a big hit. So he came out 10th. Went in 4th. Came out 10th. Oh, went in 5th. I'm sorry. Came out 10th.
It's really going to be interesting to see as we see the 45 Jack Hanley Jr. He's coming back down pit road, and we saw some strength out of the 45 earlier in this event. But the 58 of Eric Goodale, we're really going to be able to see the strength out of this car. Obviously, he's been running towards the rear of the field in the early and pretty much the entirety of this race that we've seen. But now he's up front with these strong front runners, Justin Bonsignor, Ron Silk, Patrick Emmerling, just to name a few. So we'll see him right here in the mix, and it'll be exciting to see what this 58 can do.
123 laps down, 134 remain. Been a great start to this event. Not a bunch of movers and shakers coming from the back. Everyone seems to have kind of settled in here, just trying to stay on the lead lap, and then they'll make their run. It's about to pick up here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, business is about to pick up.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the jumbling we've seen so far has come off of pit road, but I would pretty much guarantee you that action is going to transfer right onto the racetrack, especially as we move on towards the end of this event. Right now, obviously, it's still been pretty much all the same faces up here, but I can tell you there isn't one team out there that's not looking at some kind of strategy to put themselves in a better spot to be at the end of this race. So we'll see who's there at the end of it.
And most of the cars that were moving forward were Riverhead Raceway regulars. Drivers that aren't used to running 256 laps. So they were doing their thing early on, while your modified tour regulars basically gave them the bottom and told them, go ahead, you think you can pass, you can do it, go right ahead.
All that happening while our start 2 leaders, Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk, were still going at each other for the lead. As you see there on Flow Racing, I believe that's the 81
Yep,
of
that's Mark Stewart. Yep.
Changing a right front tire and a right rear, looked like. It looked like they put a new right front tire on, maybe making some sort of adjustment as well here.
So now it'll be a 150 lap shootout. A little less than that, as we're at 150 laps to go. We will see how the front of this field shakes out. It's Tim Connolly right now, through timing and scoring, shown as the leader. Car number 4.
the one to go this time.
So those cars take the wave around. That'll put Tim Connolly as your race leader. The Mystic Missile, number 4. Justin Bonsignor, the Phoenix Communications, number 51, will climb to the outside. It'll be 130 laps to go down at the line. 126 to go. Some of these teams still have a tire. We'll see what they do.
Rolling into turns 3 and 4. It's the Mystic Missile taking the green flag. He's a control car, but has all sorts of problems on that restart. That's going to open up the top side for Bonsignor. He's going to clear for the lead. They're 3 wide for second with Goodale on the top side and a lot of contact going into 3 and 4. It looks like Silk could get away with second here as he's on the inside of Goodale. He's going to clear Eric Goodale back to third. Patrick Emmerling is up to fourth. And in fifth right now is Austin Beers in the 64 as a wild restart here and more contact going on throughout the field.
It's like a wrestling match to start this one. So we had a good restart here for Justin Bonsignor. Ron Silk had to make some evasive moves to the inside to get around Tim Connolly, while Eric Goodale had made his way to the outside and he sits third. Patrick Emmerling, car number 1. The hottest guy on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour has come to the 4th spot. Silk now to the inside of Bonsignor.
And close quarter racing off of corner number 2. Silk with a deep drive at a corner number 3 as Bonsignor going to cross back to the inside. He is off of corner number 4, back to the inside through corners 1 and 2, and off of corner number 2. They are side by side. Eric Goodale on the charge in third. He is going to challenge these two for the lead as it's Bonsignor at the line that time. Silk right back to the back bumper of Bonsignor through corners 1 and 2.
It's good to see that Bonsignor and Silk are taking it easy on one another here on lap 137. But Ronnie Silk and Justin Bonsignor doing what they do, racing as hard as they can, racing each other with a little give and take. But right now, what a battle for your race lead for the Eddie Partridge 256. As Justin Bonsignor is your race leader, Ron Silk runs second, and Eric Goodale has come to third.
And Goodale's got to be sitting here just waiting to see what's happening. Right now, he's losing a little bit of ground to the leaders, and a lot of contact there off of corner number 2. Silk goes back to the lead, Bonsignor back to second, and Eric Goodale just waiting to see what happens, just hoping that if there is any sort of mess that breaks out, he doesn't get collected in it because he's in the catbird seat right now if anything breaks out between those two. But right now, Silk pulling away a little bit from Justin Bonsignor. I can't believe they were beating and banging and they were still pulling away from the rest of the field, Steve.
And I think right now, Silk and Bonsignor especially, he said to himself, okay, there's 140 laps into this race. Let's relax here for a little bit. Let's get in line. Ronnie wants to lead, let him lead. And Bonsignor, as you can see, he's starting to reel him right back in. So maybe he doesn't want to let him lead.
I feel like the crew chiefs might have gotten over the horn on these guys too and said, hey, we just worked on these race cars. We were just down a pit road. We don't need to be back down there again. We have this thing set up where we made our adjustments. We changed our tires. We're back out in the front of the field still. Let's take it easy here. We still got a lot of racing left to go as they have pulled away now from Eric Goodale. But Justin Bonsignor is staying in striking distance of the 16.
Austin Beers now starting to look to the inside of Patrick Emmerling's number 1. Beers has had a good start to this event. He's been solid from the drop of the green flag. And right now, he's starting to make a move to the inside of Emmerling. He's back to the rear bumper, and right now, car number 1, Patrick Emmerling, has a mirror full of the 64 car, my apologies, of Austin Beers. Beers, in his rear mirror, sees the 46 car of Craig Lutz, while Eric Goodale leads that pack of cars.
And they are losing ground still to the 16 and the 51, but they're about to have a battle to settle amongst themselves here. Emmerling just looking to get around that 58 car of Eric Goodale so he can set it up with the 2 point leaders. Remember, he's trying to close in this points deficit that he has. He came in 24 points back of Justin Bonsignor, the point leader. So after the 2 strong runs he's had, he's looking to triple down, hopefully grab his 3rd straight win here in the Whelen Modified Tour, but more importantly, to close in that gap on these point leaders.
Right now, Goodale, car number 58, continues to set the pace of that group. And what Emmerling doesn't want to do is try to go to the outside of Goodale, because that'll open the bottom for the 64 car of Austin Beers.
And off of corner number 2, Beers still trying to work over the one of Patrick Emmerling is back up at the front of the field. Ron Silk pulling away a little bit there from Justin Bonsignor, but once again here in about a lap or two, they're going to have a little bit of lap traffic coming up ahead, and it feels like we really haven't seen too much of the lap traffic because it seems like as soon as they get to them, a caution comes out. That they really haven't had to deal with a tremendous amount of lap traffic yet, but it looks like here in a couple of laps they will.
And the lap traffic they're approaching is having their own personal battle as Tim Connolly feels the heat to the inside from car number 84 of Tyler Catalano. Catalano and Ken Heggie both trying to get to the inside of Connolly as your leaders approach.
And remember, this restart, Connolly was the leader. He was a control car. You can see all sorts of problems, but he stayed out. Everyone else came in, and he put himself in the front of the field here. It was a great effort, but right from the get-go, it didn't seem to work out, and now Connolly has lost the laps to both Silk and Bonsignor as they continue to work through this little gaggle of lap cars.
Ron Silk right now setting a 11.977 is the pace he's running. He and Bonsignor, the only 2 cars under 12 seconds right now.
And they're under 12 seconds in the middle of lap traffic, too. They're navigating these lap cars and still running sub-12-second lap times. It just shows how fast those 2 race cars are and why they're pulling away from everybody right now. They're looking to settle this race amongst themselves.
96 laps remain as Patrick Emmerling now all over the back bumper of Eric Goodale. Goodale with a great strategy to get himself to the top 3, and he's done an excellent job to continue to run in that 3rd place. Bonsignor starting to reel in Silk with some open racetrack.
And that battle right there, you can see on Flow Racing, off of corner number 4, Emmerling is starting to peak really low off the corners here to try to get to the inside of Eric Goodale. It's just not working as of yet, though, as Goodale rotates through 3 and 4. Emmerling still right in his tire tracks. He also has to still worry about Austin Beers and Craig Lutz behind him. As this 4-car battle, everyone really just trying to figure out who's going to make the move and make it where. So you could try to make that move, but you could also end up losing spots just as easy as you can gain them.
And right now, the advantage for Goodale is he's got very good drive off the corners. Here comes the 1 car, Emmerling to the inside.
It looked like Goodale might have slipped a little bit off the
he just
corner.
got, and see, this is what we were saying. He gets up high and loses 3 spots. And here comes Kyle Bonsignor in car number 22. He tries to get by Goodale as well. Just 1 slip up, that's all it was for Eric Goodale.
And you can see how tough it is to recover once you lose that momentum. These drivers are swallowing up Eric Goodale right now. He continues to lose spots. He's trying to face Jack Hanley Jr., who is to his inside here, and it looks like Goodale's going to lose another spot. So the Riverhead local, the local racer here, Jack Hanley Jr., who is having a great night thus far in the 45, making a pass there for position. As they come off turn 2, back up at the front of the field, it's still Silk and Bonsignor, and Bonsignor had closed in that gap on Ron Silk, but it's now he's starting to fall back a little bit again.
Yeah, open raceway for Ron Silk. Bonsignor is driving it in hard. If you take a look here, you can see Bonsignor is better in the corner, but Silk is much better off the corner.
And I wonder if Bonsignor, he closed up and now he falls back. If he's just trying to see, can he make that run, and how quickly and how good of a run can he get on the 16 of Ron Silk here, maybe trying to set things up late in the race here, if he can make that charge or not, and just trying to gauge on when he's going to have to make his move.
And he's not putting any pressure on Silk. So what he would want to do if he did put the pressure on him was try to wear Silk out. But right now, Ronnie Silk's still running an 11.87, 11.946 that time by Bonsignor, ran an 11.933. So slightly faster, but right now Ron Silk continues to be in control in car number 16.
And they're starting to catch a little bit of more lap traffic. And if you look at some of the cars that they're starting to catch
It's
here,
good lap traffic. It's good cars.
Good cars, 2 of which, Timmy Solomito and Eric Goodale.
Yeah.
that's a surprise. We saw how strong Salamito was early in this race, and we saw just before that Eric Goodale was running third and had that little slip up. And now all of a sudden he's in danger of falling down a lap to these guys.
And remember, he changed tires on 79, and then it changed one more tire. They just put tires on 110, lap 110. So for Goodale, his tires were 40 laps older. But right now, Eric Goodale running with Timmy Salamito. And right now, look at this battle between Austin Beers in the 64 and Craig Lutz.
Lutz still trying to work over the 64 of Beers. Patrick Emmerling has started to pull away from them as he is currently running in third at the moment. This is a battle for fourth. As Beers still leading over Craig Lutz. They run nose to tail right now. Lutz trying to run a little bit higher, maybe off the corner to try to drag down the backstretch going into three.
Don't look now, but look at your race lead as Justin Bonsignor has reeled in Ronnie Silk.
Trying another move. I think he's just trying to close back in here again, trying to see how much of a charge he can make. I'm sure he's trying to go for the lead right now.
Oh, he got into him.
Oh, yeah.
And remember, when Silk went by him, they made contact. Bonsignor's been thinking about that for many laps, and he'll come back to the lead.
Just waiting for his moment there, and he gets back to the lead here. We'll see what Silk can do to challenge Justin Bonsignor back for that lead. As the 16 of Silk looks a little lower off of corner number 4, but they stay nose to tail going into corner number 1. More lap traffic coming up ahead. Eric Goodale, Tim Connolly, and Timmy Salamito. 3 cars up ahead of these leaders who are having their own battle. So this is all going to start to clash here in a couple of laps, I think.
Just about 70 laps to go. It'll be 71 to go this time by, and Ron Silk's not going to go away. Bonsignor made contact with him, but he knows Ron Silk's going to be right there in his rearview mirror till the end of this thing.
Oh, yeah, it is far from over. And these two, it seems like every single race we have here on the Whelen Modified Tour, that these two drivers just find each other on the racetrack, and they don't get away from each other. They're always around each other, and they run hard against each other. And we're going to see nothing different here tonight. As Ron Silk and Justin Bonsignor, they're finding their way in lap traffic now, side by side in front of them with Goodale and Connolly.
Eric Goodale trying to stay on the lead lap, gets to the inside of Tim Connolly, but here comes Justin Bonsignor. Bonsignor and Connolly. Here comes Silk now.
Yeah, that's going to open up the top side for Silk. Silk's just going to try to figure out where Bonsignor is. Now Bonsignor's going to try to use Connolly here as a pick, maybe. Yep, that's exactly what he's going to do. And now he's going to have to try the outside of Eric Goodale. But this has got to be frustrating for those leaders. You have such fast cars, and you just want to settle this race amongst yourselves. But there's still other drivers out there right now, and Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk are having to deal with them at the moment.
Yep, and they're both doing a great job coming through lap traffic. Oh, Tim Connolly, car number 4, goes around.
Just snapped around on him off of corner number 4. He had just been lapped by our leaders, and it looked like that car just completely snapped around on him off of corner number 4. Doesn't look like he has any flat tires.
Remember, he did not pit when everyone else pitted.
He might have burnt the tires off of it.
He pitted earlier. He took tires earlier in the event. So Connolly went around in car number 4, but your race leaders renewing their rivalry. Here's Connolly right here. Contact.
Oh, no.
Yep, contact with Catalano.
Yeah.
See it here again. Catalano to the inside. It's Tyler Catalano. Made contact with Tim Connolly.
And for all intents and purposes there, it looks like they have just lapped Eric Goodale in the 58.
Yeah, and that would probably give Goodale the wave around.
Yes.
I mean, the free pass. My
Exactly.
apologies.
He's at the tail of the field right now. Looks like there's going to be a lot more.
Bonsignor's pitting. They're all pitting because, again, they only took 2. So they all have a tire left. So Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk lead this group around. Patrick Emmerling, Austin Beers, Craig Lutz. And a great ride for the 22 car. Kyle Bonsignor has made his way back through this field. He was up to the 7th spot.
Look at the way the 64 is angled in right now in his pit box.
Yeah, it's going to be, they're going to have to roll him back.
There's been a lot of issues. I saw that the first time.
Oh, Silk might win it off. No, Bonsignor beats him off pit road.
Just by that much. There you go. They're pushing the 64 back, and that was a problem.
He lost 2 spots because of it.
You saw that in the first pit. I saw Eric Goodale have to do that. I think I saw Beers have to do that as well. So the second time, the 64, I believe, has had an issue getting out of his pit box. And that's, you know, this is a tight racetrack, so you're going to get that here on pit road.
Right now, winning the race off pit road was Justin Bonsignor. While we have a second, let's go downstairs to pit road with Jacqueline Drake. Jacqueline?
Yeah, right on the road. It is space that the cars really don't have a ton of room to move, so getting out of their spaces and also trying to avoid this wall on the front straightaway, being able to get out in front of some of the other cars was a little bit of a challenge, and honestly quite entertaining from the infield here. But great stops by several of the drivers here. Justin Bonsignor obviously beat Ron Silk out, but Craig Lutz was able to overcome a bad pit stop from before and gain a position there. As we say this, we're going to get lined back up for another restart here.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Justin Bonsignor wins the race off pit road over Ronnie Silk. But now Emmerling comes to 3rd, Lutz to 4th.
Rolling here to 3 and 4 to take the green flag. Bonsignor picks the inside over Silk. They're back underway here. They're side by side, and Silk trying to beat Bonsignor into corner number 1. A lot of contact. They go up the hill and off the corner. Bonsignor has it by half of a car, and now up the hill goes Silk. Emmerling trying to challenge for position number 2. They're all beating and banging as they go into corner number 1. And off the corner, it is Bonsignor over Silk. Lutz is in 3rd by a nose over Emmerling, and they come off of corner number 4. Car in the wall. It's Ripkema in the 3, but he keeps it going.
Bonsignor got loose on that start. Silk rode to the outside. Bonsignor sent it in a ton. They went up the hill. Everyone got bottled together, and now Bonsignor is starting to pull away in car number 51.
And obviously we can't count out Ronnie Silk. I'm sure he's just trying to get a handle back on that race car. Had a little bit of a wild restart for himself there, starting up on the outside. It got a little hairy going into corner number 3, but he's closing back in on the 51 of Justin Bonsignor. Craig Lutz back in 3rd as you feel the field going by on flow. They go through turns 1 and 2. Emmerling challenging Lutz for 3rd here, and behind them it's Old Blue. And a new driver in Old Blue, Tyler Ripkema in the 3.
Right now, you're about a Saturday night feature event away from the end of this race. 50 laps to go, this time by for Justin Bonsignor. Ron Silk runs 2nd. Craig Lutz is 3rd. Patrick Emmerling 4th. And Tyler Ripkema in car number 3 has come to 5th.
And Bonsignor's just sitting there saying, all right, it's a typical 50 lapper here at Riverhead, just like we always see here in these modified. And Justin Bonsignor is going to make that mirror and that rear bumper awfully wide here, but try to keep the 16 behind him. Silk has yet to make a true challenge for the lead up to this point, but he's closing back in on the 51 with each lap, Steve.
And if you look at Bonsignor, you see him, he's struggling getting in the corner. Right here, you can see the car bottoms out. He gets a little spark, and Silk's able to get to the back bumper.
He actually did. He pushed Justin Bonsignor off the corner that time. He's right back to the back bumper of the 51. They've got a lap car, Ken Hagee to the inside. They will both work by the 18 fairly easy. Craig Lutz now in 3rd in the number 46, waiting to see what happens. He's another Long Island local here on the Whelen Modified Tour. Back here in the Goody Racing number 46. Waiting to see what the top 2 drivers will do here. As Bonsignor and Silk still remain 1 and 2. They're quickly approaching a couple of lap cars here, though.
Lutz might be in the greatest spot in this place right now as the aggression level is starting to go up between Justin Bonsignor and Ronnie Silk. Silk now to the back bumper once again.
And you feel like this is going to come to a head at some point in this race with these two drivers here as they work the top side right now. They've got all the bottom of that racetrack, and we've seen what both of them have been able to do getting down to the low side here. And we may see it in a couple of laps as they approach some lap cars, J.R. Bertuccio and Mark Stewart, the two in the 81, as a car in trouble up in corners 1 and 2. That'll bring out a caution.
Also involved, car number 88, Roger Turbish, and the 4 of Tim Connolly.
I saw some sparks, it looked like, under the 88 there. I'm not sure if that was due to contact or, oh yeah. Yeah, a lot of sparks from the 88 of Roger Turbish here. He's going to have to quickly make his way to pit road.
And Connolly's not happy with him.
No, he is not. We'll have to wait and see what happened. It's a right front down on the 88 of Turbish. And he's really trying to get to pit road, I'll say.
He is. He almost hit the back of the tow truck. I mean, the tool truck. Turbish, right front flat tire. Heads on to pit road. 39 laps to go. This thing is far from over. As Justin Bonsignor, we had said on the Flow broadcast that the aggression was starting to pick up again between Bonsignor and Ron Silk.
And it has been up to this point. We didn't see the challenges from the lead from Ronnie Silk up to that point, although it felt like it was about to happen in a lap or two had that caution not come out. But as the field now slowly rolling under the caution flag, we see some takers here. Eric Goodale on the 58 to note, two of the Catalano cars, as well as Jared Bertuccio, Mark Stewart. Looks like Ken Hagee's going to also join that group on the inside lane. Those cars planning on coming down to pit road here as pit road is open.
And while pit road's open, let's go downstairs to Jacqueline Drake. Jacqueline?
Waiting to see the cars that come down pit road here. Zach, what those be Eric Goodale being the first one to skip right for the 58. Had a tough go on a restart. Teams can go up to the car. Just for the and also get it just to the 58. Additional cars out there as well. Continuing to make adjustments to this final.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties with Jacqueline's mic. She seems to be in the right spot. There's something with the receiver, unfortunately. 221 laps down, 35 remain.
And you can just see quickly, I felt like it wasn't that long ago we were talking about 50 laps to go here, and already we're down to 35. The Whelen Modified Tour, they click off laps so fast here. So when you hear 35 to go, you got to be going at that point. And I think that's what we're about to see here on this green flag from not just Justin Bonsignor and Ronnie Silk, but we're also going to be seeing it from Craig Lutz, Patrick Hammerling, Tyler Ripken up behind them, and Austin Beers. We're going to be seeing it all throughout this field. And I wouldn't be shocked if we were talking about the whole caution-free cautions. We really haven't seen it yet up to this point, but I feel like business is going to pick up here.
I hope you didn't give the announcers jinx.
I hope so neither. I would hate to see that. I don't want to see any torn up race cars, but I do want to see the fantastic racing that we get here from the Whelen Modified Tour Riverhead Raceway, and we've gotten that all night so far.
Great job by Justin Bonsignor, Ron Silk. As we said, the aggression is starting to pick up. And they are, let's say they're cautiously aggressive. They're not going to dump each other. They're not going to wreck each other. They're not going to do that. But they are going to run one another extremely hard. And they're going to give what they get over this last 33 laps.
There's a reason we played the video of this race last season. And I feel like it's all adding up now. We saw this exact same scenario last season. The same two drivers up at the front of the field going for the win in this exact same race. And the racing has proved to be the same with them.
And I would have to think Bonsignor will choose the bottom here on this restart. If he gave Silk the opportunity to get to the inside of him, it wouldn't be the smartest idea.
No, but Justin Bonsignor would.
Nope, he chose the bottom.
Yeah, we're going to have to see because Silk has shown he can make both lanes work. It's just a matter of Bonsignor's defensive driving.
Now on the last restart, Bonsignor was loose on the bottom. The Buzz Chews Chevrolet pace car to the infield. Bonsignor loose again. Here comes Silk to the outside.
And Silk wasn't going to let Bonsignor pinch him up high there. Silk got him right back down to the bottom of the racetrack. They're side by side through 3 and 4. Bonsignor off the bottom. Silk up top. Bonsignor by a nose at the line. Greg Lutz riding in third. Tyler Ripkema is up to fourth in Old Blue, number 3. As they are still side by side for the lead off of 4. Bonsignor is going to clear Ronnie Silk, but Silk up on the top side, going to try to get back to his outside here. That time Bonsignor clears him as they go off into 3.
Here comes Timmy Solomito in car number 66 to the inside. Solomito to the inside of Tyler Ripkema for the 4th spot.
And this looks like the initial start we had as the caution flag is out again. It's the 4-car around in corner number 1.
Tim Connolly, car number 4, with a problem. As he goes around nose of that car.
It looks like he might have hit the inside wall or the tractor.
Yeah,
Actually, you can see.
Yeah, he caught the inside wall here. You can see the mark on it.
Heavy impact
Yeah,
as well.
big hit for Tim Connolly.
Did not see how that happened.
Not catch the initial impact for Tim Connolly. See the damage on the inside wall. Right now, car number 51, Justin Bonsignor, your race leader. See Connolly moving in the car.
Yeah, definitely a big hit, but it's good to see him moving.
Taking his helmet off. Timmy Solomito starting to make his way to the front here at the end of this event. And we had said on the Flow broadcast that Solomito was kind of laying back, it looked like. He was just waiting, and then he pitted for that final tire. And now he found himself right back in the mix here as he runs 5th behind Tyler Ripkema. And how about a call to Tyler Ripkema? First time in Old Blue, Mike Bowler and crew. Jake Johnson, who won earlier this year in Old Blue, decided to take some time for school, and then a deal was struck with Ripkema to put him in car number 3. And right now, tonight, he is showing he was a good choice as Tyler Ripkema runs in the 4th spot. Tim Connolly out of his race car. Let him hear, folks, Tim Connolly as he heads to the care of the Riverhead ambulance. Car number 4. Taken off the raceway. 232 laps down, 24 remain. Any updates on pit road? Let's go to Jacqueline Drake. Jacqueline?
Hey guys, very calm down here on pit road as we're underneath this red flag here. Glad to see that Tim is okay and out of the car. Lots of conversations though on what this is going to look like for the remaining last portion of this race. There is a lot of contact happening down here between Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk. Just continuing to exchange and try to get one over the other, and not only just for tonight, but ultimately a win tonight could lock you in for the championship battle at the end of this. In that third place position, Craig Lutz talked about earlier, 2 pit stops ago, they had a pit gun issue where he lost up to 6 spots. So the team down here is glad to see that he's back up in that top 3 and hoping to hold on to a podium. But we'll continue to work through getting this car removed off of the track and back under green flag conditions.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Yeah, it's like a heavyweight fight right now between your 2 leaders, and Craig Lutz is just sitting there watching. He's like, all right, you guys keep having at it. I'm going to ride around back here as he sits third. He's done an excellent job making his way back to the top 3 in the Riverhead Building Supply, number 46. Again, hard hit for Tim Connolly as that car exits the raceway.
You know, and I'll bring up what you said about these 2 drivers, Justin Bonsignor and Ronnie Silk, and it being, like you said, like a heavyweight fight, the way it was advertised. And, you know, I'll mention one of the things that I'm sure is going through Craig Lutz's head. If you go back to last year's race and that last run that they had towards the checkers, one of the drivers who benefited the most from that was Mark Stewart in the 81, who he ended up right up there with the leaders and gained some spots because of all of the madness going on at the end of the race last year.
He was about a straightaway behind them with 5 to go, and he was able to come back and finish second. Mark Stewart.
Not having that kind of night to night, at least as of yet. He is still out there on the racetrack in the number 81, but definitely back towards the rear of the field. But, you know, this year it could be Craig Lutz, it could be Tyler Ripkema, it could be Timmy Salamito. We got a lot of drivers here who have shown to have strong race cars that at this point of the race, you know, what you could see here in these last handful of laps, especially with these 2 leaders, it really could be anyone's race if those 2 get tangled together up front.
Yeah, it's going to be, as we said earlier, there's 24 laps to go in the Eddie Partridge 256, and this thing is going to come right down to the checker. Right now, you can see Timmy Salamito, then Patrick Emmerling, then the 64 car of Austin Beers, the 22, Kyle Bonsignor, J.R. Bertuccio, Eric Goodell, Tommy Catalano, Tyler Catalano, Jack Hanley Jr., So right now, red flag continues to stay out as we need to get an ambulance back on the infield. They check on Tim Connolly.
And there's going to be a lot, I'm sure, going through these drivers and these crews' heads, because then it becomes a situation when you're sitting here under the red and it's a lot of prepping. You know you're going to have a restart coming up. You're not going to have many laps left, and the time's going to go by really quick. The laps click off so quick here that I'm sure all these drivers, especially those guys up front, they're thinking, trying to come up with a game plan, and then going to have to try to execute it right there on that restart. I'm interested to see what this is going to turn into for these guys.
Well, the most cars they're going to be able to gain is going to be on the restart. So a guy like Timmy Salamito just gained 2 or 3 spots on the last restart. So watch for him to go to the bottom and try and pick up some more spots to get back to the front in car number 66. But right now, the last 2 restarts, Justin Bonsignor on the bottom has been loose at the green flag. That's allowed Ronnie Silk to almost have him passed here at the start-finish line on the outside. Then they go up the raceway into 1 and 2, and Silk is trying to hold them down while Bonsignor is going up. And as we said, it's like a wrestling match between the two of them, just trying to get through 1 and 2 on each and every restart. Well, that's how Salamito got his spots, because everyone got backed up. Emmerling got backed up. The 64, Austin Beers got backed up, and Salamito was behind them and shot underneath them and got by him coming out of turn 2. So watch for Timmy Salamito to pay attention to what's going on in front of him there and probably try to use the bottom to gain more spots again.
Oh, yeah. And I think one of the reasons that you see Justin Bonsignor continuing to restart on the bottom, despite his car being so loose, is because of how good Ronnie Silk is down there. That if Bonsignor chooses the top, although the 51 may be better up there on restarts, it seems like Ronnie Silk's really good on the bottom.
It's not even that. Bonsignor is not going to allow Ron Silk to get to the bottom of him and run him up the raceway and get by him.
That too.
So Bonsignor is going to stay on the bottom. And I'll tell you what, I just think back to the race where John Beatty Jr. and Bonsignor had a green-white checkered finish, and Bonsignor was shocked that John Beatty Jr. chose the outside. They went down to the turn 1. Bonsignor gave him very little room and was able to pass John Beatty Jr. when John Beatty Jr. had passed Bonsignor for the lead and started to pull away from him. We got a late caution. Bonsignor, he'll tell you today, he was shocked that Beatty gave him the top, but Beatty was so good on the previous restart on the top that John said, let me give it a shot. And unfortunately, that's the one where Bonsignor came across the start-finish line here backwards.
Oh, yeah.
As your winner. And he and Beatty, it was one of the better modified tour finishes we've seen, but Bonsignor is not going to let the 16 get to the bottom of him. If he gets to the bottom of him racing him, he'll give him the bottom if he has to. But he's not going to give it to him on a restart.
No, absolutely not. And I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, at this point, if we see another driver coming across the finish line backwards with the way things have been going in this race. And it could be one of those 2 at the front of the field. I'm sure Justin Bonsignor would like to win the race facing forwards. But, boy, with the way this race has been, I mean, it's getting pretty unpredictable what's going to happen here at the end of this race.
Again, it's setting up to be another classic here at Riverhead Raceway for the Eddie Partridge 256. 232 laps down, 233 this time by. There'll be 23 laps to go. Car number 58, Eric Goodale. Car number 54, Tommy Catalano. Pull up to the Beaujeu Chevrolet pace car. He'll head to the pits, as will Ken Heggie, Mark Stewart, and Roger Turbish. See what Goodale does here.
Got another tire there, it looks like.
They may not have taken that third tire.
I don't know. I
They
guess
may have
not.
just made an adjustment. They may have just made the adjustment and came out third in that earlier pit stop and saved that tire.
And it looks like it was the left rear that they're changing on the 58. The way he goes.
May not be a sticker either.
No, it might not be. It might be a scuff tire.
Right. They may have put on one of the tires from earlier in the event. Laps remain. In the Eddie Partridge 256, Bonsignor chooses the inside, Silk to the outside.
And I feel like with the way Bonsignor's been trying to keep Silk up top, I just wonder here, it's going to come to a head. I don't think Silk is going to be able to put up with that too much more. I think Silk's going to be definitely holding his own here.
They head to the Newsday Go Zone. The 51 loose again. Here comes Silk to the outside. Bonsignor with a better run that time, but here comes Ron Silk. They touch. Silk into the wall.
Bonsignor's keeping him up there, and he uses that to drive off the corner. A lot of contact. And
here comes Salamito.
Oh, man, I don't know how Timmy Salamito didn't wreck, and he ended up gaining 2 spots out of it.
Justin Bonsignor leads. Ron Silk to second. Here comes Craig Lutz back on the outside, but he's feeling the heat to the inside from Salamito.
Salamito was trying to make the bottom work that last restart, and it was working out for him. Now he's up the track sideways, hangs on to it. Battling with Tyler Ripcom on the 3, a lot of more contact.
Here comes Silk to the lead.
Oh, Bonsignor has a problem. Lutz is up to second. I don't know what happened to Bonsignor there. He was way out of the throttle, and he's lost multiple spots and more contact. Emmerling now into the side of Bonsignor, and was just about sideways. They're 3 wide behind
him. The left front tire on Bonsignor is in big trouble.
Oh,
Look at it pointed to the infield.
Oh, my goodness.
Left front suspension damage for Justin Bonsignor, your point leader.
And Lutz is running down Ron Silk for the lead.
Ron Silk, 244 laps down. Bonsignor trying to hang on. Left front tire pointed to the infield.
Your point leader. I can't believe that.
12 laps to go, make it 11 this time by for Ron Silk.
Lutz is not going away here. He's going to give it his all for all of these laps here as we're coming to 10 to go. Can Craig Lutz chase down Ron Silk as we have a spin on the backstretch? Roger Turbish goes around and is into the inside wall for the caution.
Caution will come down for car number 88, Roger Turbish. Justin Bonsignor, car number 51, left front suspension damage. That tire was pointed to the infield at speed.
I am stunned.
We were watching Salamito and Lutz. In the process, we didn't see what happened with the 51 and the 16. But next thing you know, the 51 with left front suspension damage as that tire was pointed to the infield.
And as you can see him rolling slowly under the yellow. It looks like the 51's left front's okay right now, but like you mentioned, Steve, it was completely towed out. The left front was facing the infield as he was driving around this raceway, and you can see it just kicked out again, and it's still under a lot of issues. But I can't believe that restart. They were 3 wide down the backstretch behind the leaders.
While the pit road is open, let's go downstairs to Jacqueline Drake. Jacqueline?
Justin Bonsignor, wow, down here Justin Bonsignor's pit, and the crew is not happy as they have been slamming things in the toolbox. They said that he's not going to come down the road, though. He's going to try to
Bonsignor will stay on the raceway to try and salvage this finish.
He's going to have to. I mean, he came in as the points leader.
Ron Silk to the inside, Craig Lutz to the outside. They'll come to the green flag with 4 to go.
Silk with a great restart. He's able to get right in front of Lutz. Lutz is not going to let him get away. Silk with a good drive of corner number 2. Ripkema to the inside. Lutz to the back bumper of Silk. They come down to the stripe. Silk pulling away now once again, but Lutz is not going to let it happen. Battling behind them, it's Emmerling. As they come to 2 to go.
2 laps remain for Ron Silk. Silk looking to take down his 2nd win this year at Riverhead Raceway. And his 4th over the last 5 races, making 6 races. Ron Silk takes the white flag and he heads down the back straightaway. And for the first time in his career in this event, he's gonna win one for his old car owner, Eddie Partridge. Checkered flag flies. And he did it for his car owner, his old car owner, Eddie Partridge. Ronnie Silk has won the Ed Partridge 256. What a job by Ronnie Silk. Craig Lutz, car number 46, comes home 2nd. Tyler Ripkema, car number 3, comes home 3rd. But Ron Silk, for the 3rd time in his career here at Riverhead Raceway, is a feature event winner.
Check.
What a battle between Ron Silk, Justin Bonsignor. Great restart by Silk. On the final restart, Ronnie Silk. Phil Moran wrenched, number 16, wins the Ed Partridge 256 for his old car owner. Ed Partridge and Connie Partridge. Silk won a Modified Tour Championship with the TS Haulers team. He will be so happy to have won this race for Eddie Partridge.
And out of the car he comes, Ron Silk, winner tonight. The number 16 is going to receive congratulations from his crew. Ron, congratulations on the win here tonight. It didn't come without a bit of contact. We got to talk about that. You and Justin Bonsignor, walk me through exactly what happened there.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of contact most of the race between both of us. I don't know what happened to him there on the last one. I know I got under him. We made contact just like the lap before that when I was on the outside of him. So just happy to win. Drove for Eddie Partridge for a number of years. It means a lot to me to win his race here. And just pumped. Good night.
This really hits home for you. You spoke to it, but seeing the hauler behind you and everyone come together, though, does this one stick out as even respectful to that?
Yeah, I mean, they're all special, but to win this one in Eddie's honor at his racetrack is really pretty cool. He did a lot of great things for me over the years, and it's cool to win his race.
Well, congratulations. And this is ultimately going to bring you out on top on the point standings again. Race fans, put your hands together. Number 16, Ron Silk. bringing it home tonight in the second place. We have Craig Lutz. You were able to overcome a bad pit stop there with the pit gun issue that you had, and then even down to the wire, almost being able to get on the back of Silk's car. Walk me through how you would describe your night.
Yeah, we started sixth. I felt like we had a really good race car. You know, that first 100-lap run, we were third place. You know, that felt like we were, you know, the 16 to 51 were pretty stout, and we were, you know, just trying to maintain and stay there. So we had a rough first pit stop, but, you know, we had a good car. The guys nailed it on the second one and got us, you know, to the point where we could be in contention. Needed a little bit more to, you know, beat the 16, but, you know, it was overall a really good car.
Yeah, you said at the beginning of the day today that you were in a really good mood, and you're going to end it in a good mood, bringing it home in second place tonight.
Yeah, I mean, having Riverhead Building Supply right down the road, we're all racing with heavy hearts, you know, with Jason Shepard not being with us here. You know, we all miss him. And then one of my crew guys, Mitch, you know, he's back home with his mom. So, you know, all in all, can't thank my guys enough. My crew chief did a great job. Russell Goodell for everything you know, giving us everything we need to compete, and all the support for the friends and family, my girlfriend, and you know, just all in all, an awesome night.
Absolutely. Great to have your friends and family and loved ones supporting you. And bringing home the end of the podium here tonight, Tyler Ripkema, congratulations on a third place finish. Walk me through, though, that last race got a little bit crazy and you were able to maneuver a lot of the drivers.
Yeah, I mean, you just know going into the last restarts here, the leaders are going to run each other up to the moon, and you just got to try to, you know, firing off from third. I knew it was going to be tough to hold the bottom, but I got to thank Mike, Scott, and Greg from the 3 team. This is our first race out together, and coming to this place, it's always kind of a crapshoot, but, you know, both teams kind of merging together from Ripken Racing and Bowler, and it was a really seamless, felt like, you know, we struggled in time trial today. It really put me behind the 8 ball there. The pit crew was awesome on pit road, got us off pit road, gained spots each time on pit road, and the car had all kinds of drive at the end of that, which made it really fun to drive. And we knew it was going to be a little wild there, but, you know, we were able to hook the bottom decent, and we had all the drive off in the world. So I just, like I say, I can't thank the guys enough from Bowlers and my crew for sticking with me with our own stuff, and then coming with me to this, you know, conjoin the 2 teams. And like I say, they brought a great piece for me today, and, you know, learning a completely different car, you know, and so getting it all together and, you know, being able to prove what we can do first time out together and finish top 3 is awesome.
Well, good job and congratulations, Tyler Ripkema, rounding out the podium tonight at the Eddie Partridge here at Riverhead Raceway.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline Drake. Excellent job here tonight by you. We appreciate all your work that you do for us here at Riverhead Raceway for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Congratulations to Tyler Ripkema on a 3rd place finish, Craig Lutz coming home 2nd, and your race winner, Ronnie Silk, winning the Ed Partridge 256. We thank you all for coming out here tonight. Hope you all have a safe trip home. And on behalf of Connie Partridge, Tom Gatz, General Manager John Elwood, this is Steve Halpin. For Dee Drussel, Raymond Rao, and Jessica Drake, saying thank you for stopping by. We hope you had a great night. Good night, Bob Finan.